Okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. It is now we're through the second half. Now we're official. It's what is it? July 11th. It is Monday, and you know what? It's irrelevant that the number escapes me, but what should not escape me and won't escape me is that Wednesday is the CPI number. Now, for those regular followers of TGH, we've been using a lot of parameters that I haven't been using, and you got to be careful with the verbiage you use because people take it to a degree. It is an exact game. So when you're hearing like bonds not making the move since the Great Recession and commodities making the biggest pullback since 1972, and you're having all these normal parameters of sometimes century long sample sizes being questioned if not broken. So Wednesday the CPI numbers. So as I will get into TGH in a second, the most important thing is we're not doing much. Anything, if you're wrong with the rotation, and the market will be rotation, evidence on inflation news with that CPI number. So if you're wrong on that rotation, the one thing I can tell you, and listen, it's not like, thank you, Mike V. Well, not 99 out of 100 people would tell you, 100 out of 100 prudent people would tell you, always stick to the best of breeds in this situation. Let me go to a chart here. Let me go into TradeGATEHub because, that's the routine. Here we are. Let me sign in. TradeGATEHub. I sign in just the same as everybody else. The rest will get better on Wednesday. I get nerve damage. I'm trading so much in my 20s and 30s. No, actually, I have nerve damage, but I'm not going to be able to make Wednesdays 11 o'clock video. I will be on tomorrow with Coach. So just another heads up. Believe me, I want to. Who schedules a doctor at 12:20 Eastern on CPI day? But listen, it's the only one I could do. So you know what that says to me? Into the macro picture is always another trade. But we'll be here to walk you through it in the morning. All right, guys. Thank you for participating. Gerard sending some nice charts. Lewis as well as even Gold. I know who you are. All right. So watch the Twitter feeds. Here's the macro view. All right. So listen, this is the S&P, which maybe have a little bit more to go up. This is a nice pullback, by the way, what I like today. This is nice. I want this. The composite, has a little bit more. If it can get through the 50-day, then it has a little bit more room. But the Nasdaq's weak at this point. Gold's at 50. It's very rare. Meta, don't want to touch it. Wow, look at Meta. Incredible. I don't mean to look ahead here, but some things are moving in the corner. All right, so this is the composite. Short-term sentiment. Right now, we're down 400 points, whatever. We're down to handles. We're back to stock picking. I'm glad for any of the less experienced traders that see this, because if it's stock picking, don't try to take the market, the indices right now aren't indicative of stock trading and stock picking. The market could very well be down 400 points like it is, but there could be crude could be up. The crude stocks could be up. My page isn't all red. There's always something to do and always something to buy. It's the same today. All right. So this is short-term sentiment on a macro or longer term level. Credit default swaps, and don't beat this. This is going back years, a couple of years now, I believe. Yeah, this is not the normal chart I post. So this is a little bit longer, stretched out. Hedge fund exposure. You know what? They are underweight. As a matter of fact, they're borderline short as the market pulls back in a little bit. That to me is bullish. For me, a lot of stocks have held new lows and are way off their new lows, but hedge funds get even more underallocated than they ever have been. And I also want to point out something here, and I am going to jump ahead. And I just found it fascinating. And you know what? Even if it does not work, you have to think of a bunch of things that come to mind. If I'm showing you it, it's important. Whether I interpret it correctly or you interpret it a different way, that's fine. We can still look at a Rembrandt painting. The thing might cost $100 million, but we might look at it the other different way. But it's still $100 million painting, just like the information I'm giving you here. Seriously. So let me go to a like here. It was okay. By the way, here's another one. Oh no, that wasn't it. Asset managers. Let me make sure I'm sharing the same screen so everybody can get the gig. Asset managers have had the lowest exposure in the futures since 2015. All right, so we'll give it 7, 8 years, if you will. Okay, so you keep that in mind. Then you also keep this in mind. I'm also telling you that I wanted everybody to edify my what I'm or solidify the data that I'm giving you. I want you to trust the data. You may not trust exactly my interpretation, because if you want to do everything I do, join the fund, and you could take up and do your other job in life, and that's fine. But the data that I give you is concrete, just like the Rembrandt painting analogy I gave you. Stick with it. Believe me, it's up to you. Maybe if you're short, maybe hedge funds can still go lower. And I'm not saying do one thing or the other. AAII stock allocation, S&P futures right now, we're down a little bit. Stock picking, crude sentiment. Buy, maybe you want to buy it on a dip. Stocks lead the commodity. Gold, I bought a little FCX. This is why I bought a little FCX. It was kind of chicken trade. I bought a little of it. I don't think it's going to bring me to the promised land to put me in the next tax bracket. I don't like the fact it's below the gapper, but I went with the best of breed, didn't I? I mean, I didn't go to, an ancillary stock. So let's look at the other ones, as long as I'm going there. And as long as I looked at here, Gerard asked me the question this morning. Here we are, oversold on gold sentiment wise. We know how things can get sentiment wise. Roblox, how you doing? AMD. So let's look at what. So when I see the gold is oversold sentiment wise, and I have it in the corner of my eye. Not only that, we have one of the finest expert in the room, Coach, to give us what's going on with GLD. So there's the chart on GLD. Everybody knows one day doesn't make a reversal. I have an interest just because the rotation is evident this week. So when I see that, do I want GLD? No, not sexy enough. Let's look at the triple ETFs. Nougat, no interest. Let's look at the best of breed, Newmont. You know what I mean? I got to be very right in order to make a little bit of money. And I could be even if I'm slightly wrong, I think I can lose a little bit more than I can make on the situation, to be quite honest. So why did I buy FCX? Well, you know what? What's natural gas doing to you today? Natural gas is up. It pulled back. FCX is a little natural gas, and it's a conglomerate. I'm not going to lie. So I took a stab here. But I look at the other ones. Look at MT overseas, no good. That's the AT&T. That's no good either. MT Steel, no. Well, you know what? That's not bad. But I wouldn't be looking for a major gapper. I did see some small calls going off on X. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to tell Lewis because he's going to all in on US Steel, but I did. There's the futures. What's going on here? Yeah, I am. I appreciate that. Well, I don't know if, that's what I'm looking for. I'm a trader when I'm right. I'm an investor when I'm wrong. It's a freaking cliche, Coach. But at least I know what I am and I know what I'm not. Let's go back to TradeGATEHub. Okay. Share the proper screen. And you know what? It's ironic how many viewers we have. The one that always that comment first are the better ones, the best and the more experienced traders in here. It's amazing how that works. I don't know, but I'm not telling you what to do, but whatever. So I'm going to sell FCA. Yeah. Listen, Coach, I'm not married to it. I have 3,600 shares. It is what it is. I took, you know what it is? I took a cheap, that's what it is. I took a cheap stab. I might even sell it. I might even sell it. Okay. Goldman Sentiment Indicator, they're a non-believer. So they're actually less, they're actually less levered or less leveraged. They're not interested, Goldman. I mean, this is going back 39 years. Thank you. Give me a second. And here's gold futures positioning. Let's punch this up. So this is the chart on gold coming down, and then this is how many contracts do. They're barely long any as they come down. So maybe it comes down, it goes up and it comes down. That's how I play it. You know what I mean? It gets washed out completely every time. See, like every time there's no gold exposure and they load up, it's actually pretty accurate. But you know what? I'm only looking at it now, as I told Coach or the rest of you, only because I think it's in play. There's a Wednesday CPI number. It's in play. I got to keep my eye on it. Not always as it is an indicator, but as I even said before, sentiment. It's a cheap play. It's not my better play. I'm up 2 cents in it. Thank you very much. I'm a trader, as you said. I'm being facetious. His futures bounce. Okay. Fed speak this week. That should be, whatever you do, that should be like your family's birthday. This is who's speaking all this week into, before, and Thursday and Friday and after the economic numbers come to play. All right, Coach, I said that's for the pros. Sector sentiment, and Gerard was asking the right questions. Everything's in the hole here. Semis, oil producers, and energy, they're oversold. Crude right now is down a little bit, or actually it's down all right. But you know what? Exxon, well, let me share at least what I'm thinking about when I look. Here's the chart. It is at least the chart on USO. As you know what I'm doing, as I sell some FCX, as I sell all of it. How you doing? FCX sold. Good call, Coach. I don't care if it goes to 50. You're right. This is the chart on USO. It's in no man's land. Exxon had its moves. You know, it's under the 8-day. Now it's below. It's just, I don't know what to do with them. They're actually no plays now. They're Chevron. Went from worst to worst, from best to worst. That's incredible. Even go through a couple of weekly charts. You know, you want to take a chart at Chevron. You know, you want to put, anybody wants to put the oils right now are long to do. They're sock them away stocks if you want to believe in any of them. You know what? Maybe like an FCX too. Obviously, FCX pulled back a lot more, but oils, they're more fund related stocks. If one looks to go, I'll play a short squeeze or vice versa, and we'll leave it there. Oil's dead, just like FCX too. You know what else is dead? This sector. What happened to CF? Actually, it looks like it's holding up here nicely. What happened to Moss? All these ag stocks. I mean, got cut in half. Archer Daniel Midland, a little bit more of a conglomerate. Nobody wants to even look at it. Let's look at Kellogg. Look at General Mills. Speaking of going on consumer staples, something's up there, General Mills. All right. Go back again as it's 11:15 Eastern. Play by play. Tomorrow I'm on with Coach. Wouldn't be a hero, 9 a.m. Monday. All right, what else do we look at? Nibbled some FCX. VERU worked. And why did VERU work? That was a hedge. It's almost like it's a COVID play. Chinese stocks. So appreciate Gerard. Good question. All right, here's VERU. VERU got put like at a 60 price, 80 price target the other day by a firm. I wouldn't short it. You know, it's got that, it's going to go. It is a biotech. The RSI is not even oversold. I think I sold mine this 1424. I always sell. I have a little bit of it left, but I had a lot of it coming in. I had like 8,000 shares or some 10,000 shares. I have some. What else are we looking at? PDD. I bought some at the 2-1. You know what I did? Let me go right to George's question and go right here. Is I had to put a AMD. I'm up in a giddy up. Gerard wants to know FCX. That was a good sale. You know what, Coach? That was a good sale. Might go up. I don't care about it. It's a bad chart. Mike, thank you. What do you think of Chinese stocks day trading at the moment? Day trade. All right. You want to day? I agree. Because we're going to day trade. Let's look at BABA. Now the BABA, and I'm going to go over what I'm looking at day trading wise, not to see if I like anything long term. All right, look at BABA. This is my chart on BABA. Okay, so the 2 days in BABA. Yesterday or Friday, it closed at the 200-day resistance, 125. Now it's 110, coming to the 50-day, which is what you want. This is range bound, the BABA, even the gap. So what do you want on BABA? You probably want 108. Where is it now? 110. 110. Well, why do I say 108? I'm just looking from a blind, you know, kind of like a. I'm kind of guessing. I hate to say that. 108. That's a 20-minute. This is a weekly. This is the daily. I like it when everybody gets stopped out about 110 and you pick it up right near the 50-day about 108. First of all, you start with BABA. I'll be right there, Lewis. Good question. BABA, you start with always the best. You start with BABA. I actually bought PDD this morning at the 50-day and I sold it. And it didn't hold the 50-day. PDD, this is the daily. That gap hurts a lot. I'm not going to lie. On that, just a bruise on the chart. And it broke the 50-day, which was what? The 50-day. 54.32. And to now, where's it now? 50. I sold it. I bought it. Thank God I stuck to the plan. Because I'd be down $1 and I'd be upset. Then I'd be waking up early about Chinese stocks. I'd be waking my wife would tell me, leave them alone. And then Lewis would fly by in my brain. He'd say, leave them. But PDD, You know, I wouldn't do that one anymore. I tried it. It now PDD went from almost to a best to worst situation where it was hovering above all the averages in a tight, it was wound tightly. And as they say, is tighter the whatever the base, longer the, so that went the other way and it broke the 50-day. It's in the wrong sector at the wrong time. PDD don't have an interest. So let's look at your JD. I mean, JD, same thing. JD, PDD, it doesn't matter what it is. So what do I like day trading? The only one I would day trade right now is Bob. At least it has some of the support. It's a better one. Let's look at NIO, or let's look at the Chinese EVs. What am I up in? Nerve? AMD, you rat. World blocks. AMD, NIO. Listen, what my thing is? Wait. You got to wait until Wednesday. You know what I mean? It's a good question. I appreciate the fact that that those have been in play, and that's a good. You're not asking. You're not asking about Kellogg or something. Futures. Baidu looks best. I don't follow it that much, Gerard, and there's no question. Baidu is doing what Bob is going to do. So it's okay. So you see how Baidu came down, and it is best. A good point. Baba is coming to the 50-day, the blue line. Now Baba, that's, by the way, that is Baidu. If Baba, what you want is Baba to do the same and hold. So the two Chinese stocks, and I don't think I'd be alone here now that you brought it to my attention, that I would look to buy would be Baba and Baidu. Baidu being the one right now that is holding the 50-day. And Baba would be the one that maybe if Baba does get to the 50-day, and Baidu holds that 50-day, maybe you want to nibble there, predicated upon what the market is doing at the moment. Those are the two I would focus on. Good question. All right, Lewis, fast. You know what? I saw Goldman. It was Goldman. I saw Goldman go look at Vero. Giddy up on Vero. There's Vero. Telling you. I held and I sold it well. Did the dipper and ripper. Okay, I saw Goldman Sachs went positive in the corner of my eye this morning. There's the chart. You know what? It was the B. I went to buy. What did I look to do? I looked at Citi. Listen, it's amazing. It was holding so well, and I was confident. Citi's going to go one. Listen, Citi right now is going one way or the other with the CPI on Wednesday. That's it. And you know what I mean? It's going to. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes one way, but if it goes the other way, it's Citi, no interest. And fast. It's what fast I'm looking at. Almost as I'm looking at the Chinese stock. It's Chinese stocks. It's holding it's one way or the other. Nobody's really placing their bets. And you know what that's evident by? Even Friday was an option day. There's no volume in it anymore. You know what I mean? It's prudent. The volume is telling you, unless you really want to gamble, to wait. It's telling you to wait. XRT, I like Chewy. I like everybody's talking all this week about Costco. I see Costco's flying all over. Costco's the one that they like. I know it's 499. Target, I looked at this morning. Not really. I actually like it there. Target, I would buy. The ones that I'm in are Crocs. Crocs is holding okay. I'm in that nicely. What else is the FUD bid? I'm sorry about yawning, Lewis. You get mad at me, but I've been up early. What else? The Crocs. You know what? They take Bimble, BMBL. That Bumble, that the dating app. Some people coming across my screen, but let's look at the big one. Lewis wants to ask. Chewy, after the nice run, 200-day pressure. Let's look at Etsy. Nice. I mean, that's well off Etsy, I wouldn't be shorting this from 7. It's 17 off the lows. The futures are this is the SPYs. SPYs are holding the gap, by the way. What's not holding the gap? AMD is not. PDD, the low. JD. Let me make sure you're looking at my charts as I go through them. PDD. Let's look at Riven. XPEV. I loved it. It was hanging in there. But once it broke everybody's heart, same thing with Baba. Goes to the 50-day. They're right into the 50-day. Exxon, Coin, BITO, the trust, no interest. Nutella. I mean, look, this is a bull. You want to be buying this here. Even the moving averages is still scrolling up. I mean, Nutella went from 39 to 65. Thank God. What else do we like? Boyle, UNG. Any other questions? Let me get out of this thing here. Baidu does look best. Let me see what the wise guys are doing. Or I'll show you what I look at when I see the wise guys. This is what I look at. Hold on. Okay. What's going on? Twitter puts. Oh yeah, Twitter. What a letdown. Got out of that one. Okay, Twitter. People buying. Well, let me finish. Let me go through some things here before I jump around. Twitter, I'm not going to forget. Hang in there, guys. Alcoa, they're bearish. Maybe coach saw that and told me to sell FCX. FCX. Hand hurts. A fucker. FCX, the coach has saved me a stake. Okay, here it is right here. HUN. If HUN is the sexiest thing that comes across the one of the feeds, there's an issue. It tells you two things. A, one, don't do anything. And B, don't do anything. You know what I mean? If HUN comes, Hal's seeing some bullish earning positioning, not much really of anything else worth a mention. Put sweeper's been selective. Could easily be protection following week ahead. So, by the way, we're close to buying a dip here as the futures are. I'll show you the charts in a second. Shopify, Las Vegas Sands. You know what? Let me show you another one. You want to talk about poor price action? I was talking about this all last week. Win was the China stock. Look, every other China stock popped. And believe me, Win has a lot of China in it. There was Win. I still have it. I lightened up on it like a pro, I'm not going to lie, but I still have some like a piker. But Win's the best of breed. And it's going to either take time for, gambling or China to turn around. But at 50, I'm not selling Win. And I don't care if you call it an ego stubbornness. I'm not going to add to it, but I'm certainly not selling Win. So going back to here is what? Going back to the wise guy feed. What do you got? BGFV, General Motors, ARC. Who cares? Qs are bullish. Amazon, mostly just messy per usual. They're probably going into weeklies. And weeklies means short term. HUN, CTA. So this is bad. As of 11:30, if this is the best that I'm seeing on my feed, it's no good. XBI bearish. HAL bullish. What's the HAL doing? HAL is the best of breed. HAL. I mean, this is what I see on the chart. You're going to be wrong before you're right. It's under every moving average. Could it pop and go to 31? Maybe it does. All right. Bravo. Not with me. And I contra trade. That's not for me. I'd rather buy the XOP. I'd rather buy the whole internet. I wouldn't even buy that. Well, listen, it's noted that they're buying some HAL into earnings. So we'll see if that sets the trend for other drillers or other oils going forward. Futures taking a little breather. Okay, what time is it? 11:25. I'm going to run. FFI bullish. Yeah, listen, here it is. I share it all the time. Bank of America, BOV bull and bear indicator is currently at 0, and it's been that way for 2 weeks. That's nerve. I mean, it shouldn't be like that. What does this guy think about it? He's sharp, dude. In here, right here, extreme bullish, extreme bear. They're extremely bear. Everybody, and you know what? Everybody is extreme. I didn't want to say it. There is so much bearishness going into this Wednesday number. Bank there, that doesn't lie. Somebody brought it up. Who's this Q cap? He's a big dude. He's got 32,000 followers. I don't make it up. So that's where the bank and bull indicator is. Everybody's bearish. Here's what is it? The other one. I'm just making a point. Right here. The other one. Since 2002, everybody's extremely bearish. Note. And I want to bring up one thing. It's up to you to interpret it. I'm not telling you what to do. And I will leave it at this. Because I got to take a walk after seeing what the... Remember what I just showed you, and remember this. Goldman, very low positioned. Hedge funds are basically short. And let me go to one other thing here. It's incredible. Something's going to happen. It almost feels binary. It really does. Almost feels binary. All right, another thing that was said on a macro chart. My man, this guy's sharp. Yeah, right here. Macro charts. Guy's got 134 fouls. Everybody fouls. Look who fouls him. All my boys. Santoli even fouls him. He doesn't foul anybody. Keep that in mind. Record shorts heading into next week's CPI releases. So you have record shorts. You have the banking bull indicator pinned at completely bearish. You have Goldman under positioned, and you have equity funds that are under positioned and borderline short. So either there's being an apocalypse and everybody's correct. They still have to cover their shorts at some time. But if they're wrong, think about, so listen, the other thing that puzzles me, and I'm not listen, if this was not a CPI number, everything would saying to you, it's a blaring long. But this is the one that's actually keeping me back for me. And I don't listen again, I'm not alone, and there's a lot to keep me back. I don't understand it. Why is the VIX here? There's no fear, but yet everybody is completely bearish. It's one of the anomalies, one of the trading anomalies I'll probably never understand. I ask a lot of people. Anybody care to chime in? If Tim's on. So you know what? The thing I've been saying the whole time is some of these traders have been having, 10, 12, 15 years of trading experience condensed into 2 weeks. Wednesday, this is what our red YouTube button is right here at TradeGATEHub. Right here, boom. This is going to be the key to everything this week, because I'm giving this obviously on a Monday morning and Code Spoke Monday morning. Let's follow and build this short story or this development into this Wednesday CPI, including the Fed speakers, and write it down. It's going to be it's a 6-7 figure move for some people, and it's at the very least should be a learning experience for everyone, at the least. And if you don't have a TradeGate demo, a TradeView demo, get one. If you're not funded, throw it a little bit more, and it's going to be the week to step up. It is, right or wrong. You got to be in there sometime. And we're going to walk you through it. And we're going to get you through the volatility. We're going to give you some ideas, and we're going to get there, right? So I'll leave it off at 11:30. Trade well, everybody. I'm going to go through my list of stocks with a good price action, volume, and range. I'll be aware of the rotation. I sold FCX, Coach. Oh, no, Coach. You can't. No, I'm only kidding. What do I have now? I have some Roblox. I bought that well, AMD a little bit, NTNX. Boyle's coming in. Let's look at Exxon, PDD, the low on PDD. Now that the low is BABA as I leave here. So we have an eye on BABA and Baidu per charts. BABA and Baidu for Chinese. Okay, there's the Baidu right there, baby. And then we have a chart on GLD. I looked at daily. It's nothing. It's got to make, I'm not going to be the one to step in there before the next move, because it's going to be a move. I'm not going to, if it's 50-50, bet the Packers on Monday night then, you know what I mean? If you want to action, it's 50-50. And if you're going to be wrong, you'd be wrong. Very wrong. I'll leave it at that, guys. Trade well. Cheers.